Hey, what's up, guys? This is Paul at 12voltreview.com, and today I have a little tip for you. It's not an actual review or anything, but it's kind of a question I've been asked over and over and over and over again. And the question is, what size power wire do I need? And can just any wire do? Well, the question is, well, I can tell you the size of the power wire, and the other part of the question, no. Um, the power wire depends on the power of your amp, how many watts it has, how far you're going to run the wire. Um, there's several wiring companies that have charts, for different lengths of wire. The longer the wire is, the more resistance is from end to end inside this wire, and which means less current is going to go through. And the smaller the wire is, and the longer it is, the way more resistance and less current is going to flow through there, and to compensate that, you have to go with bigger wire to let more current through. And I'm going to show you a situation that I've ran into several times. And what I've done was I've gone on eBay and I looked up a 1200 watt wiring kit. And after going through several, I picked out one and I ordered it, and it came in. And unfortunately, the gentleman didn't send me the box, but he sent everything inside the box except for any paperwork that might be in there. Now, this is from a 1200 watt kit. I paid about $16 for it. And wait, don't stop the video and don't go to eBay right now and don't start ordering this wiring kit. Now, I'm going to show you why here in a second. Alright, I got here, opened the package up, and as I expected, it comes with a lot of stuff, and probably a lot of stuff you could use in certain situations. In the package, I got, wire and loom, which, it seems to be pretty good. It's going to come more of a generic kind, but you can still use it to hide all the wires under the hood, so it looks more like a, where you can't see the red power wire that hides everything. It comes with the, what supposedly says, where's it at? 8 gauge high current power wire. That's what this is for. It actually said on the box. It comes with some RCAs with some right angle adapters one end and straight adapter or straight RCA plugins another, which are pretty nice. You put these plug it behind the radio, because a lot of times there's no room behind the radio, so you'll need a plug it and go straight down with it. Whereas if you have something like this, it might bend. So this is a pretty good thing, but still I can tell these are cheaper RCAs. And it comes with ground wire, and it actually comes with the right length of ground wire. That I'll make another video on that pretty soon. And it comes with a fuse holder with a fuse already built into it. It's pretty cool. Terminal wire, this thing is a little bit smaller, but you can still use it to turn the amps on. Amp turn on doesn't need maybe a quarter of an amp at the most, maybe a couple of milliwatts or something, just to turn the amp on. So terminal wire doesn't really matter, but it doesn't hurt to have a little better wire. And speaker wire, it looks like the size of the speaker wire is the same size as the terminal wire. So if you just run like a little small highs amp or something, then this would be great. And then it comes with a little package of goodies. You got some wire ties, some connectors, some butt connectors, butt splices, however you want to say it. And oh wait, I see you want to stop and go buy this off eBay. Hang on, I'm going to show you why here in a few minutes. And look like some grommets and stuff. So anyway, this right here, actually the connectors look fairly decent. I mean, I wouldn't, use them on too many things. Of course, you don't have too many of it in here anyway. But it's good for hooking up little small high amp, I would believe. So anyway, this is what came in the package of a 1200 watt amp power kit, high power, according to the box and the description I read. And so anyway, I've made a chart, and on this chart tells you all the different don't worry, it's on the side, all the different watts, the size power wire, and I actually have high performance power wire. This is actually power wire from Stinger Electronics that's used in actual competition systems, and I'm fixing to show you the difference between this wire and that wire. And I'm going to grab my crimpers right quick so I can cut off a cross section of the power wire, and I'll show you. And I'm going to get the camera here in a second. I'm going to zoom in to just so you can see just the chart here. So, but here's my chart. You can see I got the lengthways, I guess, cross section of the power wire, and I got the length of what the actual size printed on the cable itself of all the different wires. This is actually an actual chart, which I'll put up at the end of the video, a little quick picture of this, and then and the size wire you should be using. Alright, so let me get the camera. I'm going to zoom into this, and I'm going to cut off a section of this little piece of wire and compare it to these wires, and I'll let you decide on which wire. Okay, I kind of zoomed in as best I can. It's kind of hard to fit all the information in, so I just use just the top part of the power wire there. Of course, I'm another situation here. I'm going to prop my little display up. As you do. So anyway, I'm going to take a little small section of this, and we're going to compare it to these wires over here. In fact, I should get in front so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, I got my crimpers, got some wire. And I'll say this is the wire that came in the kit. Cutting the cross section, make sure it's evenly cut as possible. Cut another section off so I can hold it up to those. Okay. That off to the side. Okay, now I have my little cut section of this 1200 watt wiring kit wire. Now, Stinger has been around for 20 to 30 years, and they pretty much know what wire is supposed to hold. And as you can tell, 0 to 300 watts, 10 gauge. 0 to 600 watts, 8 gauge. 0 to 1500 watts, 4 gauge. And 0 to about 3400 watts, 0 gauge. And anything more than that, you'll need more runs of 0 gauge and extra batteries, alternators, capacitors, and all kinds of other things to keep your voltage, current, and constant for your amps. That's mainly like for really high competition systems. Now, I'm going to actually move again. Okay, I've cut a cross section of this. Zoom in on it best I can. That's kind of hard to. Use my hand to make the. There we go. Okay, you can see how big this, 1200 watt wire. Alright, well, I guess we'll start off at the 0 to 1500 watts, but this is 1200 watts, so it should be the same size, right? Well, let's see, 0 to 1500 watts, 4 gauge, and I don't know if you can see this, but compared to that, it looks like Stinger's 4 gauge is just a hair bit bigger, almost like 4 times bigger. Alright, okay, well, let's go up to go up a size, since this wire is a little bit smaller. 0 to 600 watts. Go over, oh, it says 8 gauge. Hold it up to this, I don't know if you can see this, but this wire is a little bit smaller. The actual wire itself, not the outside in, but actually the insulation on this makes the wire look bigger from the outside. So, since the wire itself is still smaller than the 8 gauge, the Stinger 8 gauge, we're going to go up to the little big entry level. 0 to 300 watts. 10 gauge. Hold up next to it. And from what it looks like, it is still smaller than the 10 gauge. So, but the amp kit said 1200 watts. Maybe if the amp was this close to the battery, then maybe this power wire can handle it. So, why do you need the right size power wire? To keep the amp, have constant current going to it. That way to keep your amp from shutting off, getting hot, burning up, burning your car down, truck down. So, before you just go buy something cheap, do a little research and find exactly what size power wire you need. And according to Stinger, this is the size power wire you need, and we've been using this wire for, I think we've been over for almost 30 years. Haven't had a single problem. We start putting once or twice. We put this in just because the customer really wanted this wire because he said he spent a lot of money, $16, and ended up either melting the wire or burning the amp up because he couldn't get enough power. So 1200 watts to 300 watts. You decide. I think I would go with the 4 gauge. That's what I would go with. The Stinger 4 gauge, real 4 gauge. And also the speaker wire too. They got different sizes of those. Always make sure you're getting enough power through your speaker wires for your subwoofers because they draw a lot of current going through those wires. But as for me, I'm going to use this wire for maybe wiring up a radio or maybe a small highs amp. But as you can tell right here, this wire to me wouldn't hold 1200 watts. That's just me. Alright, anyway, they sent me a question like what size power wire do I need. You can go to stingerelectronics.com and actually scroll down through their list. They actually have a list on the left hand side of their website. You know, you can look up how much power. Let's say if your amp puts 1000 watts, you go down the list and it says, you know, 1000 watts. You click on it and it shows you what kits you're supposed to use. That way you won't have any problems later on down the road. It's better to buy, let's say, a $80 wiring kit, or you can spend, you know, let's say a couple $1,000 repairing your car from being burnt down from melted wire. Anyway, this is Paul with 12voltreview.com, and I hope y'all, I was able to learn something today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.